Hello, welcome back to my studio. In this lesson we're going to look at what types of white paint you can typically find, and also some of the more obscure ones perhaps, and how you can use them and why you should. We're going to look at things like titanium white, zinc white, mixing white and underpainting white, and also flake white and lead white. Maybe you didn't know there were so many versions of white paint out there. And specifically, there are a few I've got here from daler-rowney in the Georgian range, from my friends at the Art Savings Club. And we're going to try them out and see what is different about these, and maybe help you decide what white paints you should get for yourself. Now, the most common white that you're going to be using is probably titanium white. It is very powerful white paint and has strong tinting ability. So if you want to lighten the values of any color, titanium white is going to do that, and it's going to really make the colors opaque. So if you mix transparent paint into titanium white, you're going to lose that transparency immediately. And you'll see how it also changes the nature of certain transparent colors. Things like phthalo green and alizarin crimson are radically changed with titanium white. Now, there's another paint as well called zinc white. And zinc white has certain different properties to titanium white. Zinc white's been around for quite a long time, since the 19th century. And what some of the characteristics of zinc white is that it's slightly warmer than titanium white. Titanium white, by the way, is a relatively modern color, 20th century white paint. So zinc white also is not quite as opaque. It mixes in two colors without being quite as powerful in its tinting ability. Zinc white is, however, quite controversial. One of the problems with zinc white, if you use a lot of it, you can experience failure with the painting. Cracked paint, and also in some cases delaminating paint. So when you use zinc white, don't use it for thick impasto or palette knifed kind of thick painting. What you want to use zinc white for is to get a slightly warmer white and not change a color so radically. So you use a little zinc white in quite thin mixes, and if you do that, then you should be fine. Another white color that you may not have come across, but perhaps is a bit more popular, is mixing white. Now, what is the difference between mixing white and titanium white? Well, quite a big difference is that mixing white is made to mix in and with other colors, but it will not tint those colors as dramatically as titanium white. I'll show you the difference between the two. It's quite a marked difference, and you'll see that the saturation of the color is not as radically changed as it would be with titanium white. And this can be helpful to you if you want to avoid a chalky white cold color that can be the result of putting in too much titanium white. So mixing white may just help you retain some of that saturation with your colors, but still help you lighten the values of that color. So mixing white could be quite popular if you incorporate it into your painting system. So here I've got some ultramarine blue on a palette, and we're going to compare the three. I'm starting off with titanium white as the most common or standard white, and you can see already a dramatic influence on the blue paint. Titanium white, very strong tinting quality, very opaque. Now the mixing white, and we get more or less the same amounts, but you can see the blue more apparent, so definitely retaining more saturation in that blue. Very useful quality to mixing white. Now let's have a look at zinc white and just see how it compares to the titanium white especially. Perhaps just a tad less white there, but you can see the tinting strength, not as strong as titanium white, definitely more saturation as well. And there's definitely a warmer tint to the zinc white compared to the cooler titanium white. And mixing white also a little cool as well. So those three options. Let's have a closer look. The zinc white, you can see the texture in that paint and the slightly warmer tone to it, compared to the quite cool and smooth titanium white. And mixing white, a bit similar to titanium white, except obviously not as powerful